Hi, my name is Robert Kajowski, and I just want to tell you a little bit about myself, give you my testimony. Pretty much I'm raised in Southern California, actually Torrance, California. And growing up, I didn't really have a good childhood because most of the time I was out there sanding cars for my stepdad. And it was kind of a physical, abusive type relationship that me and my stepdad had, which brought me into a life of uh, being prideful and always angry because of being abused. My stepdad didn't know how to talk to me, so he gave me a car when I first turned 16, a 69 Camaro, and from there my life just started falling apart. I mean, as soon as I got my driver's license, I started ditching school, which, you know, is something I didn't really want to do because I got good grades prior to that. Start hanging around people from a neighborhood city, which was Carson, California, and started kind of hanging around gang members and what have you. From there, my life really got bad. Started smoking marijuana, testing out drugs like, you know, cocaine, and other drugs, which I really never got addicted. But what happened is I felt loved hanging around them because I didn't have that lifestyle at home, the loving lifestyle that your parents should give you. So I chose to stay away from home and actually bounce from house to house. Like my friends would let me spend a night there every now and then, and I would just was always getting into trouble, in and out of jail, stealing. I have some assaults, an attempted armed robbery, which really I thought would turn my life around because I did almost 2 years in a California Youth Authority. And when I got out, I thought my life was going to change. Because uh, jail, a lot of people have a habit of turning to the Lord, and that's what I did. I actually spent 6 months in county jail, and the rest of my time I did in the youth authority. And that time I kind of got really close to the Lord. I felt him talking to me, but once again my flesh took over. Once I got out of jail, it's like I got married right away, which was not of the Lord. It's because I got her pregnant. And in the Asian custom, I'm half Hawaiian, half Korean. Uh, it's they frown upon you uh, having premarital sex and being pregnant and showing. So we wound up getting married. We didn't really know what we were doing, and we weren't even in love with each other. So our first daughter came out, Alana, and then we had another son after that, Anthony. And we were married for about 8 years, but in between that time, once again, the Lord revealed to me, or actually, I think, he tried to talk to me. I kind of got into street racing, illegal street racing, in California, and I had got shot at one of the legal street races. I almost died. Bullet went through my arm, through my side, and out my back. And at that moment, I thought again, like, Lord, why am I still here? And I talked to other pastors because I was, going to church, but I wasn't consistent. I would go to church for like a couple weeks, a month maybe, and then just disappear. So it's like I knew the Bible, but I wasn't following it. So people told me, God has a plan for you. And I still didn't know from that time. So I went through a divorce with my ex-wife, and it was a hard thing to do because she cheated on me 2 times, and by the third time we just had to have a discussion, and we wound up getting a divorce. I know it's not something of the Lord, but at that time, once again, I didn't know anything. I wasn't saved. One day my brother called me, and he lives here in Grants Pass, Oregon. He works at the hospital, and him and his wife were going through a divorce, and he said, "You want to get out of California?" He says, "You're welcome to come stay here with me." So I prayed on it. I was actually in between jobs at that time because I was just really going through a lot of stuff with anger issues, and I had just recently lost my job as a sales rep at Pepsi Cola, so I didn't know what to do. I was living with my parents in a garage, which was actually a room and a shower, for close to a year, and I just prayed and prayed and prayed. And one day, a check showed up in the mail from Pepsi Cola for my 401k, and it was for $2,000. So it's like the Lord opened doors right there for me to come to Oregon. And I was able to get a U-Haul, be able to tow my car, and it paid for the gas for me to get out here to Oregon. So I wasted like 8 years here in Oregon. So the Lord got me here, but I still didn't know what he wanted me to do. So here I am working for the first 6 years for a company called AER Fitness Repair, repairing fitness machines. Now keep in mind, I thought I was going to make some good money. The person who held the job for me and kind of swayed me to get out of California said I was going to make like $40,000 a year, which actually my first 3 years I was making $12,000 a year, just barely making it. Finally got my own place. 1 year I just prayed and prayed to the Lord, because I was going to church, but once again it wasn't consistently. Prayed to the Lord, help me, Lord, I need more work. Well, that year he gave me an overabundance of work. So I made like $35,000 that year, and I started getting credit cards, bought a new car, thanking the Lord for everything. And then I stopped going to church again. I forgot about the Lord. I started doing everything that I wanted to do. And that following year, it all got taken away. I was back to making like $12,000 a year, and then I didn't know how to pay my bills. I was getting eviction notices, and I wound up back with my brother because I had no place to go. I was basically going to be homeless. So I lived with my brother for about a year, and in his trailer that he had on the side of the house, because prior to me leaving the house, before I got my own place, him and I got in a big fight, and he was just kind of worried about me living in the house, and he said he liked his own privacy. So I stayed in the trailer there without heat in the winter for about a year. And I was trying to look for work, but because of the felonies and stuff that I had, every time I went to look for work, they would refuse me, and it just basically it hurt me to the point where I said, you know what, nobody's going to hire me. So I stopped looking. So I stayed there for about a year, and then my brother owed his ex-wife some money, so he gave her the trailer. So the second year I stayed in the garage, and he said, you know what, you still can't come in the house, you could stay in the garage though. So I stayed there, and I was living off my food stamps, didn't have any kind of income, to the point where I was eating cup of noodles every single day. Then one day I literally threw up, and I said, you know what, forget this, I'm not going to eat cup of noodles anymore. So one day I went to a store, put some steaks inside my jacket, and started cooking them on the grill. To that point, I started getting really good, and I said, you know what, I don't have to eat off cup of noodles anymore, when I could just take steaks, hamburgers, hot dogs, and what have you, and cook them on the grill in the backyard. So I started getting really comfortable with that, to the point where it turned into an addiction. Then I said, you know what, I need clothes. I don't have work. So I started stealing clothes. I started stealing socks, shoes, what have you. I was doing it. I got caught at Fred Meyer's one day, and this was about 2 years ago. And basically they wrote me a ticket, and I had to show up to court. About 6 months later, I still didn't learn my lesson, because maybe like 3 months right after that, I started shoplifting again. And this time I did it at Walmart. Well, this time I think the Lord was trying to get my attention again, because this time when I got caught, it happened outside, and some lady grabbed me on my shoulder, and basically I broke out away from her grasp, took off across the street, and 4 Grants Pass police chased me down. And instead of it being a misdemeanor shoplifting, it turned into a felony rob 3. So I wound up spending 31 days in the county jail that's behind Walmart, and that's where the Lord started talking to me again. And because of the things I did in the past in California, I had what was called a downward departure over my head. So if I did anything wrong again, I had 18 months mandatory in state prison on top of what I would have done. So that pretty much was a wake-up call where, Lord gave me grace after grace after grace, and then finally he said, you know what, Robert, you're out of control, so I need to find a way to slow you down. So after that, I met with Rod at NitroFit Gym, Rod McMasters, and he's actually the owner over there. And I've known him for a long time because I used to run into him at stores just through divine appointment all the time. He would find me, and it's like, Robert. He would see me at Walmart, at Albertsons, I mean, all over the place. And he used to talk to me about the Lord every time. So one day he told me, Robert, I promise you, if you put all your faith in the Lord and put him number one, you will see your life turn around. So I started going to New Song Christian Fellowship for about 3-4 months. And then I was hanging out at Evangel, the Christian bookstore here in town. Ran into JP, and then also I've known Mark Skudstad for probably about 5-6 years. And he's been talking to me too, and he's been trying to get me to the farm. And I'm just like, no, I don't want to go to the farm because I don't need structure in my life. I don't want someone telling me what to do. I don't want any of that. I've been in and out of jail, so I didn't want to go back to someone telling me what to do. So once again, through divine appointment, I kept running into Mark Skudstad all over town, just in places I should have never saw him. Same thing with JP. I ran into him, and it's like, wow, the Lord is like telling me, Robert, I want you to go to the farm. So I start reading the Bible, and I knew the Bible in the past. I knew right from wrong. I knew the 10 Commandments. So I was living a life of, they say, you should either be hot or cold. Be on fire for the Lord, or just not even follow the word. I was playing the lukewarm type. Like I had one foot in the door and one out in. Basically, I was playing with fire because that was very dangerous. I had so many problems in my life, and wow, I'm just stubborn. And till this day, I think about it, and it's like, wow, I have been disobedient to my parents, to law enforcement, and to God, mainly. So I opened up my Bible, and I read a lot in the Old Testament and New Testament. First in the New Testament, and just saw the love of Jesus Christ. And I said, you know what? That's the kind of father I want. And then also, throughout the Old Testament, the Jewish people, God's chosen people, were always disobedient to the Lord. And I saw all the bad things that happened to them. And I said, you know what? That's me. No wonder why my life has been so bad. So one day, I just prayed, went to JP, met with him, filled out the application, and next thing you know, I'm here at the farm. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to try to be obedient for once. Listen to where God leads me, because God has a chosen path for you, beginning to end. And if you choose your path, which is your fleshly path, you may get back to the point where God wants you to be, but it's going to be a harder road to follow. So if you just listen to the Lord, He knows the best for you, and that's the reason why I'm here at the farm.